If any subject has been misrepresented and corrupted in the West, along with Eastern spiritual teachings, it's martial arts. They've been presented as a way of becoming more powerful, of enhancing your ego, of developing a strong male macho image. But the real martial arts are a world away from that.
For spiritual enlightenment.
I've traveled to the sacred mountains of China, to the Himalayas, to Indonesia, throughout Europe and America, looking specifically for martial artists who embodied wisdom and a real sense of the mystical.
In 1997, Alex Kozma finally found the teacher he was looking for. In Taipei, Taiwan, he discovered Mr. Chen Yong-san.
The first thing that Mr. Chen taught me was how the mind and heart are the real foundation of martial art practice. Not how to punch and kick, but how to be a better human being.
The martial art that Kozma studies with Mr. Chen is the internal technique known as Tai Chi Chuan.
Tai Chi is the quintessential of the internal martial arts. It is a flow. It's supposed to be very gentle, very soft in appearance. Inside, you should be very strong. If you have to fight and you're good at Tai Chi, what will happen is you'll be relaxed because nothing's happening. Then when I need it, I put the speed on it. It goes out, bam, goes back out again.
There are many legends surrounding the origins of Tai Chi Chuan. One states that it was invented in the late 14th or 15th century by Jan Sen Fung, a wandering Taoist with an interest in the fighting arts. He observed a fight between a snake and a crane in which the snake won through relaxed, evasive movements and quick counter-strikes. Jan Sen Fung eventually devised a fighting form that emphasized this kind of movement, which relied not on muscular strength, but on an internal force called Qi.
Well, Qi, or internal energy, can mean virtually anything. There is no concrete description of what it is, let alone a concrete definition of what it is.
It's in every culture. The Eskimos, our American Indians defined it as something that moves. It's the animating principle in a human.
It's so difficult. It's like the Tao. If you talk about it, it ain't that. And if you try to paint it, it isn't that either. You have to kind of sneak up on it.
It's just a very subtle power that one feels when one can relax, focus one's mind, and allow the Qi or energy to flow.
I mean, the strange thing about teacher is that he seems really soft and frail. Just a little middle-aged man with wrists like this and a smile on his face. And it's very deceiving because when he hits me, it's very, very painful. And a couple of times he's seriously hurt me. And if he hadn't healed me the same day or a couple of days later, I would have been in big trouble, I think.
Does Mr. Chen have the ability to tap into this mysterious force, Qi, and use its power for both hurting and healing? And if this power does exist, why hasn't science been able to document its miraculous claims?
You get people saying that it's my Qi that can stop bullets. It doesn't. The guy missed. You have people saying that Qi doesn't exist. Maybe it doesn't, but there's sure some strange things going on if it doesn't. I'd swear I felt it.
There's a lot of people see this as esoteric and mystical, and it can be played to an audience that way. And they go off, it's like chasing a will-o'-the-wisp, and they go off chasing this sort of like nebulous thing they can't really catch.
Indeed, the ancient martial arts relied on concepts like Qi that were for centuries considered esoteric at best and mere superstition at worst. Only recently in the West have historians of the fighting arts attempted to shed light on these often mysterious forces. One such pioneer is Robert W. Smith. During the late 1950s and early 1960s, while working for the CIA, Smith had the opportunity to film many famous masters of Chinese boxing.
One of them was Wang Shujin, a huge, maybe 285-pound chap who would let anybody hit him in the stomach or kick him anywhere they wanted to. When you ask him how he was able to do this with a smile, he'd simply say, "Chi." But by far the most memorable teacher I met was Professor Chen Manqing. He, by virtue of teaching for a long time in New York City, has a large following throughout the world. I was able to get very close to him and to watch him, and he was the softest of the soft.
Chen Manqing's life is a testament to the power of Qi. As a young art teacher in Beijing, he contracted a debilitating lung disease. Fearing for his health, he began studying Tai Chi Chuan. Within a year, Qing had regained his health. In the following years, he would refine his practice and become one of China's most famous boxers.
He was able to anticipate whether a person was planning to attack, getting ready to attack, attack imminent, or attacking. 4 different states. He was never defeated. He took all kinds of challenge matches. He hated fighting.
Chen Manqing, it was said, could root his qi into the ground, and by redirecting his opponent's energy, easily send a man hurtling backwards.
He did it by relaxing and shifting your strength through his body, down through his rooted legs, into the concrete. So in essence, you're pushing not a man, but concrete. I know this for a fact because I was one of the pushers, and I've been photographed in that posture.
Some teachers have taken Tai Chi westward and often found scientific, not necessarily mystical, reasons for its effectiveness. William C.C. Chen was one of Larry Tan's quest to uncover the hidden secrets of martial arts took him to the steps of the Shaolin Temple in Hunan Province, China. Like Scotland's St. Andrews, the birthplace of golf, the Shaolin Temple provided both instruction and spiritual inspiration for many students of the Chinese martial arts.
Many masters who traveled from province to province, they stopped by the Shaolin, they practiced techniques with the other great masters, and then they left, incorporated their techniques, and created their own systems. So very often people use the word, this is a Shaolin system, a Shaolin Southern system, or a Shaolin Northern system, to give recognition for the Shaolin Temple. We got up 3:30 in the morning to shoot the monks meditating in the temple. So while they were setting up the lights and the camera, I noticed that there was a monk, a young guy at the corner of the temple practicing punching, and it looked like Western boxing. Now this is the Shaolin Temple, birthplace supposedly of Shaolin Kung Fu. I go up to him, I said, "What are you doing?" He says, 我现在打西洋拳, which is Western boxing. So I said, "Well, why are you doing Western boxing?" He says, "Well, because Kung Fu is superior, but Western boxing, you learn how to fight practically faster."
While Larry Tan claims that there are hidden secrets in the martial arts, he also feels it's important to translate this knowledge into a technique for healthy living. He calls this the universal form.
I want you to inhale, and I want you to channel it. Now I'm concerned of how I use this energy to heal people, how I use this energy to help others, because I don't have to worry. I'm not a scared little boy anymore. The Shaolin warrior monks use this energy, which they call qi, or the force. They developed so you could use it for self-defense, for combat, and you could also use it for healing. This is what I call the spiritual dimension. This is when one takes the martial arts not just as a sport or Wednesday night bowling, but you take it as a discipline, as a path, and as a way of life.
To be something else. To the untrained observer, Brazilian capoeira looks like nothing more than a dance.
A lot of people ask, oh, you know, this type of dance we just saw you guys, you know, practicing. It's very beautiful, it's very dynamic, but they don't see the martial art aspect right away.
With its high kicks, musical accompaniment, and flamboyant movements, it would be easy to dismiss capoeira as simple gymnastics or showmanship. And indeed, that's what African slaves wanted their Portuguese overseers to think.
They disguise capoeira as a dance, and then when the master approached, they would say, oh, you know, those people, they're like dancing.
Today's capoeira has made its way from the favelas of Bahia to the lofts of Greenwich Village, New York. Its adherents are no longer just the impoverished of Brazil, but young middle-class professionals as well.
Cabeçada, go. Yeah. Okay, the cabeçada is not here. Cabeçada is here.
Edna Lima, a Brazilian capoeira champion, is only one of a handful of women who have gone on to teach this unique martial art.
Yes, contrário. Yes, vai. Yes. The kicks you see in capoeira, it's not clear. Those kicks can, you know, hurt, or those kicks can, you know, be like a weapon. And then you see behind the scenes, oh, that could kill.
Although today capoeira is practiced as both a dance and a martial art, many of the old strategies and techniques remain in use.
We're going to do esquiva. All right? In capoeira, everything is very tricky. You know, you use the trickness to confuse your opponent. You never showed your intention right away. I want to take you down. I'm not going to show my intention to do that. I need to fake, then boom, I kick you in the head like by surprise. When people see capoeira today, they say, oh, you guys, you know, using this dance. It's very good, interesting dance. So we're still doing a good job because we're still hiding the martial art aspect of capoeira.
In Kerala province, the ancient system of Kalari Payat developed unarmed techniques along with the use of various weapons like knives and sticks. But this fighting system also incorporates a healing art. The healing arts of India, much like those of Japan and China, view the body as a system of interconnected channels through which energy flows freely. Blockage of this energy, they claim, often results in disease as vital points. The use of striking techniques against vital points can also be found in many fighting systems worldwide. Seiyo Oyata is a practitioner of the martial art of Kyosho Jiutsu, the striking of vital points to incapacitate or kill an opponent. Part of a larger system of Okinawan karate, Oyata is careful how he passes on this knowledge.
Idea, opponent stun. Not to try kill, idea, stun, then go control him.
These are very dangerous techniques. You know, these are the things that he doesn't teach directly until he knows someone for a very long time.
Although Oyata is careful how he teaches his art, there are others who are not as scrupulous.
There are martial arts seminars, people who make a living going around teaching what I think are very dangerous things to anybody who's got the money to walk in the door. So they'll be out here, you grab this pressure point and you hit here and the guy falls over unconscious. Well, he really is unconscious.
When you're dealing with striking of vital points, causing severe damage through certain types of blows and so on and so forth, you're looking at a very fragile structure. Some people have got, for example, weak-walled arteries, and if you apply a technique on one of those unfortunate people, then you're going to get an artery burst, you're going to get a blood clot, and so on and so forth.
This is like me taking you up Mount Everest. You've got enough money to buy all the equipment? Not a problem. I'll take you up there. If you die, that's not my problem. It is my problem. It should be my problem.
Budo. Budo is an expression that describes martial arts. Bu means martial or military, and do means way. But Budo means a lot more than that.
In the Shobukan Dojo in Atami City, Japan, 83-year-old Chiyoko Tokunaga teaches the use of an ancient samurai weapon, the naginata, composed of a razor-sharp, sword-like blade attached to a long staff. The naginata is unique, not only because of its size, but because of the individual who wields it.
The reason was to protect the castle. When the husbands were away in battle, the wives and the women had to protect themselves. The naginata was the weapon that they were taught to use.
New Zealander Alex Bennett has been working towards an unusual degree, a PhD in martial arts studies from Kyoto University. Although naginata in Japan continues to be viewed as primarily a woman's weapon, Bennett finds compelling reasons for its study by both genders.
It moved away from being a practical means for defeating an enemy on the battlefield to more of a way of developing yourself, your inner self. And those aspects are still very important in martial arts today. In fact, that's probably the reason why they've survived, because, as you know, nobody goes around with swords or naginatas in the streets anymore. I've spent a lot of time doing kendo as well, and kendo could be called a very sort of a masculine sort of world. It's very hard. Whereas naginata, the technique is very big and soft. The movement is circular, as opposed to kendo, which is quite often very straightforward. So you have a lot more movement in naginata, a lot more, I guess, possibilities and techniques, which makes it very challenging.
In armed techniques like the use of the naginata, the weapon itself becomes an extension of the body.
The radius of movement is extremely great, and the feeling of moving your whole body and the weapon in a variety of ways and then making contact with your opponent. In other martial arts, you really can't get the same taste of this wonderful feeling.
Tokunaga sensei has been doing naginata all of her life, and that's many decades of experience. She's a very skilled practitioner of naginata, obviously, but not only that, because of her age and her experience, she's
Oh, no! Come on, everybody! Sing along! Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. This side only. Ding,